It does not end here because this is the start of the video. Yep. So, intro. So, take a wild guess at what we're using for the guitar. It's Metal GTX once again, because it's just the best free guitar plugin of all time. This one's on mute to alternate. Then that is like, where are we running this? Guitar rig, just the guitar plugin amp sim that I use. Cello Seeker, whatever. I also have an OTT on it. Gives it some extra character. And I also take out the low ends and make the sub bass from it. Although it doesn't really have much sub bass to it begin with, so who knows, maybe it's not really doing much. But regardless, it is layered with this bass. Pretty much just a sub bass. Let's see, bass beefy layer 1. Yeah, so this is something I got out of like preset share or whatever. Sub saw wave with unison on the saw wave. So we have a high pass filter on the stuff that isn't the sub. Just smart. It's smart mix and decision right there. And then we have, because this is the start of an LMS, we have like a little impact sound from cymatics, very basic, and then a siren sound, which is probably from Splice somewhere. Did I put effects on this? I did. I actually put quite a few. Distortion, reverb, then distorting it a bunch, and then EQ to thin it out again. Yeah. It's not really noticeable in the full track because it's not, but it doesn't need to be in the forefront. It's a background element, so it makes sense. And then we just have, noise up, noise down, reverse crash for the first chorus. So we take this guitar and it's still muted, right? Yeah. It's kind of I don't know, it feels kind of weak here. I probably should have like layered it more, but we do that later on for egg progression. Introduce the drums here. This is a cymatics kick. And this is probably a snare I found on Splice. Main thing is a lead here, which is another like preset I found. Guitar-ish. And what did I'll put on it. If we let's take a gander. This is like turned way down. We have Valhalla Supermassive, one of the greatest reverb synths of all time. OTT, 44% depth, a little bit of distortion, some more compression with Sound Goodizer. ZL equalizer, good equalizer plugin, but any equalizer works. And this is just taking a lot of the low end. And it's still audible, as you can do. It's completely fine since our bass and guitar is taking up the low end, so it doesn't need to take up that space. And 2D LP for some automation stuff, I think, later on. Oh yeah, in fact, it's a bit quieter here specifically, because for the intro, so it's not as intense. Then we add some, like, there's also a trance pad, right? which is also super filtered. Like, oh yeah, this is Kobara Super Saw preset. Well, that's kind of basic. It's just maximum unison, distortion, OTT, reverb. But it's super, super washed out here. It's like we have Valhalla Supermassive on it, of course. Bit more distortion than really filtered out. But it still adds quite a bit despite that. Then we have these layers, this EPNO, which is from the Toho sound font, detuned EPNO 1. Which, I don't know. Oh wow, there's a ton of stuff on this. Doing just some distortion, EQ. I feel like this is kind of overdone. I don't think such a small. Well, actually, it's used a bit more later on, so maybe it was necessary. We'll figure that out later. We have this acid synth, which is from Flex, so it's kind of strange. It didn't used to look like this. Like to jump up repertoire acid preset thing. It's a pretty nice sounding sound. Yeah, also really EQ'd heavily. And this TDR Kotelnikov compression plugin. It's pretty helpful. I underutilizing it as of recently, honestly. I should use it more. And then for the transition here, basic drum fill, or it's like basic A pattern 3, which I could do in every song ever. Then we have some staccato strings to help transition us over. This is just the old essential strings, all strings staccato from Flex. I think the core strings is better now with FL Studio 2026, but I don't really use Flex for that. I have it's like the Berlin Free Orchestra, which sounds a lot better. Here we introduce a lead layer, which is distortion, distraction, destruction. Yeah, this is actually a sound made by me, so wow, I can do some amount of sound design. Yippee me. This is crazy sound, actually. Basically max distortion. And we have chorus. I large amount of detune on the unison with just two voices, so there's a chorus, but we do also have another synth for like the main tone. I bet there's more stuff going on here. Actually, no. No, it's just a zero equalizer with that does what's doing nothing actually. Yeah, that's just the sound. I would explain my thought process, except I don't know what my thought process was. But the point of it is a layer, so it sounds good with. So it makes sense that it doesn't have a lot of stuff going on in it because it's supposed to be just a layer. So we also have more flex string. Yeah. My feel as sustain. Sus. Why did I say that? Why did I forget I said Restraints pad doing more chords to follow along. Then we have new prison ARP. So this is a sound that's kind of used throughout the nullscape OST. I think this is a preset I found, yeah. Probably on like preset chair or something. Then of course we introduce more guitars with Metal GTA. So this is where the guitars start sounding beefy because we use two of them. We pan them to the left and right. These are both, yeah, the same. Wait, are they not? They're actually not. So this is on sustain alt. while this guitar is on mute down, so it's a bit different. So that's extra variation there to create more stereo separation. And then of course we put guitar rig, this one using high gain fuzz, so you can see what's actually happening there. And the left guitar using just the rock seeker, fire seeker, and whatnot. All these things to give it more, stereo width. It's of course layered with the original guitar as well. But yeah, we send all these guitars to the G send channel, which takes out a bit of the low end and does some compression to keep it all like at the same level, which was really important with the song because mixing was difficult, and I tried my best. You know, I guess it doesn't sound that horrible. Sure, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Whatever. We introduced breakcore, my favorite. And this is just Fringe Break 170. Yeah, this is like from that like free online Aim Break pack, which is like, free samples found online. Oh, yeah, and there's also these percussion layers. We use quite a few drum loops to add extra layers to the percussion. This one actually has a bit of more processing. And Reiko also has processing. I use transient processor to make it a bit shorter. And also a lot of EQ again, because breakcore is the main focus of this track. So deep ambient break. What did I put on this? Just a little bit of distortion, just a small amount. Okay, and then we just EQ out everything so it's not evil. And then we have more stuff here. Just not really much to talk about with these. It's just grab top loop from Splice, throw it in. There we go. So your percussion sounds like somewhat better now. Congratulations. Yeah. You win. We have an interesting fill. Lyrics. So yeah, lyrics. Wow, and this time I actually got Synth V. I bought it. Oh, okay, thank you. To sketch out the lyrics. And of course I used it more on like Voyager, the Voyager album and all that. Instead of just I don't even know how it was even managing to write lyrics without Synth V before. It's really nice for that. That being said, I'm not gonna talk about the lyrics themselves, because as you might know, this is the second song I've ever written lyrics for. So I literally did not know what I was doing. So there's much to talk about there, but I will talk about the vocal mixing. And Hong Mika, of course, did amazing on the vocals once again. So, but let's start with here. We have this E piano, which is where these effects come into play. There's distortion mainly helping to like make it still audible despite like everything, all the chaos and whatnot. Saturation and distortion is helpful for that. Like get a sound to like be louder and stick out through the mix, even when there's a lot of other things going on. And in the chaos of everything else going on, you don't really notice the distortion. It's not always a good idea, but for this track, that's what I did. Also, crazy drums here. We also have a ride. Well, I don't know where that drum ride is from. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just no clue. Yeah, this is like DM Dokuro, a Scourge of the Universe coded beat right here. And let's talk a little bit about the vocals and how they're mixed. So where are they? Where are they? There's a lot. There's just a little bit of effort went into trying to make these not sound horrible.
In an unfamiliar place.
So the first step is we put OTT on it, which automatically makes it sound like better. Yeah, a lot of EQ actually, which I think like what is like, EQ, voice effects. I actually don't know. I know some parts where like I EQ. There's a lot of automation in the vocals, just a lot because different vocals require like different mixing. So it was crazy to work on this. You have fruity flanges. I likely just do not know what this does, not gonna lie, but it gives a bit of that strange thing. What I was going for was basically just trying to make it sound less raw, basically. More otherworldly, because, nullscape is kind of a strange place. And that was a feedback I had gotten quite a bit on the original Find Your Flame, so I wanted to fix that. We have hyperchorus, so we have hyperchorus and Beauty Flanger, as well as more sound goodizer for just even more compression, because you can never have enough. I think it kind of gets the job done, though, even though I don't really know how it does it. So I guess that's chill. Some more distortion. Yes, this is why I use the equalizer, because it has dynamic EQ, and I could use it for a de-esser, so the S's aren't as extreme and try evil. Yeah, or compression, limiting, delay, which is it's automated to in some places use so then we have reverb, even Valhalla Supermassive, which is used sometimes. Yeah, that's like the kind of the whole vocal chain. Yeah, it seems that this EQ isn't automated. I thought it was. So yeah, it's actually a bit thinner. It's mixed a bit thin with this EQ here. And I made it make up for it through distortion and whatnot. That's probably what helps make it sound not as like just a raw recording, voice recording. Just more regular guitar stuff there. Shaker loop. And then we have our fill. We also have this layer, which is panned all the way to the left. And this is a sound I use a ton. I contact hybrid keys antique toy. So not free, but it sounds nice, but you could always find like a good free alternative anyway if you wanted a similar sound. It's not that complicated of a sound to find. So main thing here, more synths, not synths, strings, staccato strings. Oh yeah, and we also start layering the guitars more, since we're building up. So yeah, we have the guitar riffs actually like differing a bit here, different notes. So it's kind of like playing off of each other, and that gives it more stereo width for one, and it just sounds cool. So sometimes it's really as simple as that. Yeah, it sounds cool, so we put that in the song. More break loop. What is this? What? I didn't even know that was in the song. I don't even know if that really fits, but it's there, and you know about it now. But the important layer here is the choir, which is Toho Sound Font. Secret reveal: the entire nullscape OST is made with the Doe sound font. Exposed. Some really crazy stuff going on there. And then to make it sound a bit better, of course, we drown it out with reverb, do a bit of limiting, apparently. This is because I think it does chords later on, so that way the chords just don't completely outshine that. Doesn't so the volume doesn't get out of hand. F Fruity limiter is helpful for that. And then bit of EQ. It doesn't really do anything though. It's kind of just there for fun and whimsy. So whatever. So this section, take out some of the Luxverb and put in some of the real reverb. Valhalla Supermassive. But Luxverb is like stock FL Studio plugin, but I had set up Valhalla here to be more intense. Where we get the strings doing some more crazy, more intense stuff. We put in an ARP, then we do the more intense pattern. That was from chorus 1. Actually, like a lot of this is similar. Chorus 1, maybe a bit too similar, actually. So I know like one reactor, like it doesn't end here. I thought like the chorus like started here or something, I think. Yeah, I could do a bit better with that in future songs, honestly, but it is what it is. What is this? Yeah, I don't think this is audible. This is like, there's no reason for this to be here. It's just there for another thing there just for fun and whimsy. Because why not? Chorus! Woohoo! So let's go over this. Am I using the vocals 2-track? Oh. We are using this. Yeah, it's a lot of the same actually. It's a lot of the same, I think. I'm just mainly layering 2 different takes that Hong Mika did with each other to give extra width. Did I pan these actually? I feel like I just did like a big missed opportunity. Hold on. Yeah, it's a bit intense actually, so I don't think I would have actually done that. I'm realizing these are actually processed differently. That's the main thing. That's why I wasn't working. These are quieter. Yeah, this is like super distorted version. So we have wild chorus, stereo width, which we're just going crazy at this point. Taking out all the low end because otherwise this would just, how would this even sound good? And yeah. And then we also have another layer, right? Because Hong Mika also did an octave. So that's where I did stereo width on the octave up. So these are like I feel like I could have turned these up, maybe, but yeah. More transpad stuff. We have those strings come back. The lead is layered with it, with the vocals, which I guess is fine. You know, but a lot of the same stuff. But here, things a bit different. We have Antique Toy, and then we have Kinematic Metal. they didn't turn out mixing wise the best, but I mean, I think it's a cool element. Adds something to the song. This is kinetic metal, another contact stock, not stock. You have to pay for it because it's like $5 bajillion. Is it worth it? I don't know. But I have it, so I also use it. That's our mentality here. And yeah, and the piano comes back. The acid sound is here apparently. So let's take a look here. What's exactly going on? Open hat here for the fill. This actually sounds really clean. I like that. The cymatics thing. Then we layer the strings with a synth attack sound, which sounds like this. I don't know if this is used anywhere else. Okay, it is. It is. I'm not crazy. Lead chances. Not made by me, so it's some preset. And it looks kind of complicated. Don't think I know what's exactly going on here. It's crazy stuff, basically. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a beat. You can hear how it sounds. And then we layer it, and then in context. So like everything lines up with it, so it sounds really solid. It's the secret to good transitions. You just do that every single time you want to transition. I'm not losing creativity. You are. Yeah. Am I cooked? Am I cooked? Yeah. Anyway, we have the bridge now. We bring back the choir and the prison synth. Oh yeah, and we do a different guitar mode. Yeah, I'm happy with this guitar and bass line. It's groovy. The lyrics aren't the worst. I guess it's not horrible. Probably. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm just, yeah. You know. I have a lot of room to improve. We add in this acid synth here, which sounds cool. So this is where we bring in the chorus effects. The chorus effects. I know what that is. Totally. It's not like I haven't opened this project file in months. This thing. Makes it feel really like warbly, alien and whatnot, which is just more hyper chorus, which I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know exactly how it works. We do more EQ, so it's not like overpowering the entire world. And then a little bit of extra distortion. And then the other lyrics are layered underneath it. And we do more stuff here. A lot of instruments working together here. It might even be a little bit overkill, but I think it sounds pretty good. Just, a lot of things that try to play with each other. Layering this sound might have been cooler, actually. For some of it. Oh well. How do we transition out of it eventually, though? Guys, he said it's time for the song to end, but it didn't end. What are we doing? I'm so sorry. Whatever. Now, this is like the pre-chorus thing again, except we actually make it like a pre-chorus instead of like the chorus, but it's not actually the chorus because I like this a lot more, but I think it's good that it waits until now. Gives the song progression, makes it, you know, different, changes over time. Variation is good. It's what makes song like this not ultra repetitive and you hate it after like a million listens or whatever. A lot of just it's a lot of just more composing, more like variation from here. Oh wait, there's new addition. What's this? Tubular bell. Tubular bell. That's just like that's the Toho bell. Tubular bells from the Toho sound fonts. Yep, we use those again. And then for the transition here, it's more of the usual trumpet, intensifying the drums, doing a little fill thing. Slag kettle. What is this? I don't remember what this is. That's in the song. Not audible, not even audible at all. It's just there. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing. So these chords are nice. I wish I played into these a bit more, honestly. But I'm using more of the synth attack and the staccato strings because staccato strings are awesome. Honestly, I might straight up just gonna go lead chances. I'm gonna favorite that because this sounds cool and I want to use it again. So don't look forward to nullscape, looking forward to having a similar thing to this, I guess. So more of the same, another transition thing, transition effects, right. Then we go to the finale. So we do more guitar stuff as usual, but I have the better rhythm guitar? Question mark. Ah, Stratus free, which is doing. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's there. It's there. It's kind of like. The main thing is that we're doing more unique and crazy stuff with the lead. And that's where it really comes in. And of course, Hongmika is also just being super intense on the vocals, going through that same vocal chain. Of course, a little bit of automation more on the distortion. Like, it probably, yeah, it's definitely like the highest point it is in the song, because, finale. It's got to be intense. And then, oh my goodness, it's the nullscape motif. And we also have this transition again, which is just fun. The nullscape motif section. Wow. Lots of this section I'm just not happy with at all. It's not bad. I don't think people hate it or anything. It's just it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So basically, the nullscape motif choir. I got a bunch of people to sing the nullscape motif, but they weren't actually like, no offense to any of them, but like they aren't necessarily great singers. I should have gone like an actual choir. Or actually, I probably should have just used Synth V. I could have done that, but it was just a fun thing wanted to try to do for fun and new MC. It didn't work out the best, but it's here now. we have nullscape motif. Except now with octaves, we unlock them. Yeah, this is just, the null keys preset that this is the thing I made myself. With downsample, whatnot. Made it on a whim. Just when we started making music on the game before I thought before it just becomes the huge game like crazy. It's crazy. And we have orchestral motif. Orchestral strings. Which sound nice. What plugin is this? This is actually Flex again. Honestly, it's surprising how many Flex presets are in here. But yeah. So another completely free thing. Grab it, grab it. Actually, you can actually get four strings and it sounds a lot better, I think. And let's do an experiment. Let's do so we have all strings sustain. Then let's go to string all sustain from core strings. Okay, if it wasn't just like 500 times quieter, I think it sounds better. Can we like not? It sounds so good actually. Flex is kind of goated now. It's crazy. Yeah. We bring up the drums here. Oh, I'm actually using Studio Drummer here. I didn't even notice. We have the crash sample, other stuff. But what's Studio Drummer here doing? Mainly just for more realistic ride for the most part, and then a crash. And Studio Drummer is another thing from native instruments, contact stuff from the complete bundle. Oh, okay. I'm just not allowed to open Studio Drummer, I guess. Oh, there we are. Here it is. It's Studio Drummer. Wow. It actually has a ton of effects on it. I didn't realize. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. OTT, sound goodizer stuff, and probably some EQ. Yeah, just take out all the low end because we're not using this for the main punchy drums, just for like some flavor. Then we come to the ending. Woohoo, we did it. We got through. It doesn't end here. Except it now does like end here. And we use this motif, or like this riff here again for the loop, so it's smooth. That's the only reason. And then we have like the actual outro over here, which was a kind of a bit of an experiment whether I wanted to actually do like an ambient outro. It's a bit more somber and whatnot. It might have overstayed its welcome a little bit though, I have to admit. I don't know. I probably could do a bit better, have it a bit more varied. But yeah, that's kind of it. It's like the production isn't crazy. I just had to like it mainly all comes down to composition, arrangement, and all that. And there's not much to describe there. These are the decisions I made. These are the riffs I came up with. The mixing on this was difficult though. It took a while. It's not even completely perfect, but whatever. One tip I can definitely give though. Oh yeah, all the drums go to one drum bus, and I put like, a little bit of distortion. The main thing is like a limiter on it, so it doesn't overpower. Even if I'm like completely overloading the drums with like 500 million transients and stuff, it's not gonna like kill the mix completely. So like using buses like that is important. Oh, I talked about this song for 50 minutes somehow. I don't know how, but yeah. Hopefully that was useful somehow, perhaps. So yeah, you know what? Let's take. Okay, well, I was gonna try and show the original synth vocals that I used when writing their lyrics for the song, but apparently that's not allowed because Synth has just decided to stop working. Cool, wonderful, great. This is awesome. Thanks, Synthesizer V. Really great software over there. Whatever. Uh, yeah. But that's about it. That's kind of all there is to it. It doesn't end here. So I guess it does end here, folks. Goodbye, and good luck to those of you working on the nullscape B-side competition stuff. Yeah.